In this lesson, we're going to learn about variables. Variables are basically containers for holding data. We can create variables, assign data to them, and then later go back and change it. Variables are really useful for ActionScript, and they're the key to making truly interactive applications. We can write data to a variable based on user input, and then we can program ActionScript to make decisions based on that variable's contents. Okay, variables come in three flavors: global, timeline, and local. Global variables are available everywhere in your document, but they're not used as often as the other two. The second one, timeline variables, are available only directly to the timeline they're created in, unless of course you specifically use targeting to access it remotely, which I do quite often, as all you have to do is use the same method we used when we looked at setting object properties. Just type in the target path followed by the variable name. Local variables, the third type, are variables declared inside functions. Functions are like little mini programs or subroutines, and we're going to cover them in a few lessons. These local variables declared inside functions are only available inside the function that declares them. So if you set a variable in a function and try to access it later from outside, the result is going to be undefined. So how do we create a variable? Well, one way to set a timeline variable is to just type the variable name, an equal sign, and then a value followed by the semicolon in the frame actions of a keyframe. So say I want to create my variable and make it equals to 10. For very simple work, this will usually work fine, but there are more recommended methods. The first one is to type var or var beforehand. This explicitly tells Flash that you are setting a variable. Even more recommended is telling Flash what type of variable you're creating. This is called strict data typing. The type of a variable depends on what kind of data you're planning to put in it. If you don't specify a type, Flash will just inspect the contents of the variable and assume that the variable is of a type that matches the variable contents. In this case, Flash would read this and say, well, this has the number 10, so I'm going to make it a number variable. This usually works, but in some cases you can get compiling errors when exporting, or unexpected behavior in the Flash player, so it's better to get into the habit of assigning a type to your variables. The amount of possible types for variables is almost limitless, because you can actually create your own, but the most common ones are number, string, and Boolean. Number is self-explanatory. This variable type holds a number value. String is something like a word or a person's name. Boolean values are things like true or false. The syntax for creating a typed variable is as follows: var, var, then a space, then the variable name, and then a full colon, and then the data type. If you have code hints turned on, Flash is going to help you here. We'll make this one a number because it's holding a number, and then the equal sign, then the value, and then the semicolon. So now my variable is a number type of variable, and its contents have now been set to 10. We're going to see more about how we can use this variable in the next lesson when we cover conditional statements. So let's move on.